Hi, this is Sandp Patel with Royal LePage Metro. I'm a commercial realtor, and today we are doing podcast with Grace Yan. She is a global commercial realtor, and we would like to take her knowledge about the businesses buy and sell. She has many years of business buy and sell experience, and she helped numbers of the client for this process. She been in. Let me give you some little bit about her. She was 20 years experience in a real estate paralegal, and she also a Notary Public and a commissioner of oath in Alberta. And Grace is known for her exceptional listening skill and her commitment to always doing her best. She has sold major restaurants, franchise, hotels, businesses, and completed numerous complex business transactions. So we will. It's very good to pleasure to have you, Grace Yan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we would like to have your knowledge, and I have started this podcast to keep educating the buyers. In Alberta, we have many buyers for the business and everything, right? And they have a not proper chain of link. So they always go on a social media and follow the other people, whatever the people they're posting. But they don't directly contacting the right people, right? So that's why I started this small postcards, and you are my second guest. So thank you so much for accepting our request.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. So how long have you been in a business of selling businesses?
Forever.
For-
It's over 20 years. I've owned businesses, sold businesses for people on the buy side and the sale side as well.
And what can you provide an example of business similar to mine? What you have successfully sold?
What sort of businesses?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a wide range from franchises of all different sorts, like restaurants, so food, hospitality, medical aesthetics. So yeah, just a wide range
Right.
of businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you worked with the international franchise, like a US base, they are coming to the Canada, or some of the Indian franchise, they are coming to Canada and are looking for the expansion in the western part of Canada?
Oh yeah. No, I work with a lot of international brands.
Right.
People do need to realize there's different processes, right,
Right.
in
Yeah.
different countries.
Right.
And people need to also understand that they have to get their own representation.
Right.
People, I'm sure you've seen this, they'll be looking for locations and they'll use a landlord's agent, and they think that that's the best way, the best course, the best deal for them, right? And I always tell people that's like using the same divorce lawyer. You need your own representation.
Right. Right.
That's what's important.
Right. Now, just to give us a little bit information, like what strategy do you find right business for your client to get those businesses? What strategy do you use?
For them to buy?
Right business, to find the right business for them.
Yeah. So first you have to sort of ask them what sort of business they want to be in. Some people just want to acquire businesses even though they don't know anything about it, because it just generates income. Okay, even some people don't have restaurant experience, but they want to buy a McDonald's franchise, right? Because it's a model and it's easy, and they can be an investor. But there's certain businesses you have to be hands-on, you have to be there, you have to be knowledgeable. So I get lots of clients that are, well, I'm a chef, so I want to own a restaurant. So it depends.
Right. Yeah.
What they really want to do.
Right. Yeah. Let's say you find some of kind of the business for the buyer, and how you determine the valuation of the business is right for the, let's say, selling listing purpose and for the buyer purpose.
Yeah, so on my team, I have a corporate finance guy
Right.
that does all of that for me, you know. So you have to really know what you don't know in this industry. So I leave that to the experts
All
that
right.
know valuations.
Valuations, right?
Yeah.
So that's they're bringing like a proper strategy
Oh,
and expert opinions, like
Yeah.
what is the finance system and everything, right? Okay. Now also give us informations about like what informations and documentations will you need from the us to begin the selling process. Like let's say I want to sell my laundry business, right? So what documentations you probably
Yeah,
ask?
so depending on the business, you know, you typically have to obtain certain documentation and make sure, you know, do a corporate search that they actually own the company, financials to start, you know, and then we do a deep dive, right? But just to list it, you know, you just need proper information of ownership and that sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Now, many time buyers, buyer always want to ask, put the lower offer, okay, where the expertise comes. So they also says like, what is the negotiation, how you negotiate or something. So can you give some of the things on that one, like how you approach to negotiate with a potential?
Yeah, and how negotiations typically work is buyers want to buy for the lowest and sellers want to buy for the highest. So it's up to us as the professionals to come together so that the deal works for everyone,
Yeah.
so that it's fair for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Now, I list properties and businesses. I get hundreds and hundreds of inquiries, right? So everyone having their own strategy, or you can say like a gut feeling, or whatever we can say. And how you qualify, like they are serious buyer, right? They will gonna be, they understand the business, what they're gonna buy it, right? Because I have seen so many times like people buy the business, but they don't have a knowledge, and they things like I will do some partnership, and I will do as a like a sleeping partner, but at the end of the day they are not going well, right? So how they are like a qualified and serious about the what are the buys. So what how you determine?
Yeah, so my process is when I have a meeting with buyers that say, okay, I want this sort of business, and I have a retainer agreement because this is very organized of, you know, what we do. So we have a retainer agreement. They retain us because we're also business advisors, and we have to guide them through the whole process. And so it's just, you know, we have our retaining agreement, and then we lay out exactly the process.
Right. And let's say you are representing the uh, business seller,
Yeah.
and sometimes they ask like how long it take this business to go sell,
Yeah.
right? So what is your normally time frame you give it to them?
90 days. And again, whether buyer or a seller, we take a retainer to
Right.
start the process.
Start the process, right? Okay. And what is, see, every business they got the challenges. Like as myself, I am also getting challenges. You maybe have the challenges, right? So how are you facing these challenges to selling the business? So seller see like there are some of the challenges come to sell this business. So how do you make those challenges like a go through?
Well, I mean, there's a buyer for everything. You know, it's just a matter of making sure you have the right exposure, the right marketing, and the right price. And, you know, when you have all of that, it typically works out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you do any kind of like a special marketing or something? How you spread that business listing open to get the right buyer?
I think also being in the industry for so long, you know, you have a big database of what people are looking for. and also a team of people globally that the more people you can sort of expose, and market the particular business, the easier it is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, you are dealing sometime on buyer side and seller side, right? Let's say buyer hired you for the buying some of the business, and you found the potential business. So, as a business advisor expert, what is your due diligence? How you take your role on due diligence process?
Yeah, well, and again, depending on the business, I have my corporate finance people look at it. You have legal look at it, and make sure that everything's going in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, for your services, you charge the fees and commissions. So how the structures? I know you told us like you're gonna take like a retainer,
Yeah.
but that's for the probably buyer side, right? So how you gonna manage this fees or commissions, and how they are structures like is there any kind of
Well, I mean, and commissions, as you know, everything is negotiable. There is no set fee for anything. So depending on, again, what it is, whether it's retail or a property or, what type of business it is, franchise, there's various fees, which is all negotiable. So, you sit down with a client and then you figure out, the right strategy so
Right.
that everyone is successful.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Now, what are the professionals you are working, like you're working with appraisal, lender partner? Can you name out like what are
Oh,
the
yeah.
professionals, people you needed for this transaction?
Oh, yeah, you need a strong legal team,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Whether, and there's different lawyers for different specialties, whether it's an M&A deal, a franchise, there's very, very particular professionals that are experts in that area. So even lawyers, you have to pick the right lawyer, okay? Because there's only probably a handful of lawyers that specialize in franchises.
Mm-hmm.
There's a handful of lawyers that specialize in M&As.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you have to pick the right people, the right team, the right accountants, okay? And for my global stuff, yeah, I work with I work with a lawyer in Florida, a lawyer in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's making sure when you have the right team, things go smoothly.
Right. So it seems like when you do international transactions, you have a particular legal and all other kind of professionals already set up
Right.
that they will help you to achieve this goal.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So also tell me like how you like to stay updated on market trends and changes in the industry, because we can see in the last 10 years it significantly has been changed. Some of the businesses gone under, but some of the businesses are doing very well, and some businesses differently treated. They have to change some strategies. So how you updated with your
So you have to talk to people, your political people in your area, your MPs, your MLAs, right, on a federal, provincial, and municipal level, and making sure you understand the landscape politically, because that affects your business, that affects your taxes. And yes, we're seeing a lot of movement of US companies, really figuring it out to see if Canada is a place to invest in. We're seeing a lot of capital leave the country because the tax, carbon taxes, I mean, there's all these taxes that are changing, even the capital gains tax, right? As of June 23rd, that's possibly changing. The population of Canada is what, 40 million. So, the population of California is bigger than Canada. The population of Tokyo is 42 million. So, a lot of businesses internationally have to see and make sure that is Canada a place that they want to really expand. But yeah, you have to talk to people directly that's in the industries. You can't always believe the media, right? So you have to just talk to people
Right.
and understand.
Right. Okay. Now about the buying and selling procedures, what is the client expected timeline for the any updates? Like how you gonna communicate with the client?
I communicate well regularly, and obviously if tours, when we have tours, you give them an update for that. But yeah, you want to be always updating them,
Right. Right.
making sure that they know what's happening, and set up tours way in advance, giving them enough notice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, do you have any recently closed the deal that you like to tell my followers? That's what type of businesses in a market that they can hunt?
Yeah, I think franchises right now is expanding significantly. I closed a deal, it's a lease in Florida for a franchise. It's a bubble tea franchise called Black Pearl. But yeah, franchises is easy for people to get into because it's a very set system. It's easy. You're guided, you're trained. So,
Right.
it's a model that people tend to go with.
Yeah. This January, I went to the franchise show in Calgary, BMO, and I saw so many franchise from the east part of the Canada and Vancouver based franchise. They came to Calgary and attracting significant number of the entrepreneurships, right? Yeah. Now I have a very last one thing. Like, what advice do you have to give us to the business owner so they can achieve their selling and the business owner want to buy the business? What is your 1 cent advice to them?
You mean they have an existing business and they want to
Yes.
sell it?
Yeah. What they have to prepare themselves so they can
Yeah,
easy exit of the business selling.
for business owners that want to sell, make sure, your paperwork is in order. Your financial statements is important. People always ask for it. So, make sure your financial statements are in order. And yeah, as long as, everything is very organized. And whether you're making money or you're not, it's just that the buyer needs all the information that they can.
Yeah.
If you own the property, make sure you have a real property report, that sort of thing, and all the details of the property. If you need environmentals, make sure you have your phase 1, phase 2. That just helps makes the process
Yeah.
easier for everybody.
Yeah. How about advice to the buyer who looking for the the business? What they have to do to prepare themselves?
So as a buyer, you don't know what you don't know. So you really have to listen and, follow what the process is from your business advisor, from your commercial broker that will guide you through the whole process because it's very, very complicated. And make sure, especially in leasing, that you do have your own representation, okay? Like the landlord's agent, so you phone up, you see the space, you phone the guy on the sign. That's not the guy you have to deal with. You need to get your own representation because that agent on the sign represents the landlord. So you need to have your own agent to represent you and your best interest.
This happens with a lot with me. I just give you an example. I went to the barber shop and I says like they asked me like what you do for a living. I said I'm a commercial realtor. I said is it? And they point out one of the location and this is like we are trying to reach the company but no one is calling back since last 2-3 weeks. Would you help me? I say yes. I just went there, see the locations and I Google it, and I know the gentleman. I call them and we book the showing in a same week. So it's always like you have your own representative, so they can push as much as they can because they are already in the contact with that industry partner, so they know they are working with a qualified buyers, right? Yeah. So that's all for the today. Thank you so much, Grace. Your advice is really helpful to myself and for my client.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Yeah. For same kind of podcast, please follow my channel, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and YouTube videos. Until then, thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.